Nangina Salakaya Sakshur Militan Yena Tasmasi Kurve Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tuse Namaha Vanchakalpatarupyascha Kripasindupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavepyo Namo Namaha. Reading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Ādi-līlā chapter 17, the pastimes of the Lord in his youth. Text 207. Nimai Pandit was previously a very good boy, but since he has returned from Gaya, he conducts himself differently. Now he loudly sings all kinds of songs, clapping, playing drums and handbells, and making a tumultuous sound that deafens our ears. We do not know what he eats that makes him become mad, dancing, singing, sometimes laughing, crying, falling down, jumping up and rolling on the ground. He has made all the people practically mad by always performing congregational chanting. At night we cannot get any sleep, we are always kept awake. Now he has given up his own name Nimai and introduced himself by the name Gora Hari. He has spoiled the Hindu religious principles and introduced the irreligion of non-believers. Now the lower classes are chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra again and again. For this sinful activity, the entire city of Navadvip will be deserted. According to Hindu scripture, God's name is supposed to be the most powerful hymn. If anyone hears the chanting of the name, the potency of the hymn will be lost. Sir, you are the ruler of this town. Whether Hindu or Muslims, everyone is under your protection. Therefore, please call Nimai Pandit and make him leave this town. After hearing their complaints in sweet words, I told them, please go back home. I shall certainly prohibit Nimai Pandit from continuing his Hare Krishna movement. I know that Narayan is the supreme god of the Hindus, and I think that you are the same Narayan. This I feel within my mind. After the hearing the Qazi speak so nicely, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched him and smilingly spoke as follows. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna from your mouth has performed a wonder. It has nullified the reactions of all your sinful activities. Now you have become supremely pure. Because you have chanted 3 holy names of the Lord, Hari, Krishna and Narayan, you are undoubtedly the most fortunate and pious. After the Qazi heard this, tears flowed down from his eyes. He immediately touched the lotus feet of the Lord and spoke the following sweet words. Only by your mercy have my bad intentions vanished. Kindly favor me so that my devotion may always be fixed upon you. The Lord said, I wish to beg you for one favor in charity. You must pledge that this Sankirtan movement will not be checked, at least in the district of Nadia. The Qazi said, to as many descendants as take birth in my dynasty in the future, I give this grave admonition. No one should check the Sankirtan movement. Hearing this, the Lord got up, chanting Hari, Hari. Following him, all the other Vaishnavas also got up, chanting the vibration of the holy name. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went back to perform kirtan, and the Qazi, his mind jubilant, went with him. the Lord asked the Qazi to go back home. Then the son of Mother Sachi came back to his own home, dancing and dancing. This is the incident concerning the Qazi and the Lord's mercy upon him. Anyone who hears this is also freed from all offenses. One day the true brothers, Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, were dancing in the holy house of Śrīdhar Thakur. At that time a calamity took place. Śrīdhar Thakur's son died, yet Śrīdhar Thakur was not at all sorry. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu caused the dead son to speak about knowledge, and then the two brothers personally became the sons of Śrīdhar Thakur. Purport. This incident is described as follows by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravava Bhashya. One night, while Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing with his devotees at the house of Śrīdhar Thakur, one of Śrīdhar Thakur's sons, who was suffering from some disease, died. Śrīdhar Thakur was so patient, however, that he did not allow anyone to express sorrow by crying, for he did not want the kirtan going on at his house to be disturbed. Thus kirtan continued without a sound of lamentation, but when the kirtan was over, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who could understand the incident, declared, "There must have been some calamity in this house." When he was then informed about the death of Śrīdhar Thakur's son, he expressed his regret, saying, "Why was this news not given to me before?" He went to the place where the son was lying dead and asked him, "My dear boy, why are you leaving the house of Śrīdhar Thakur?" The dead son immediately replied, "I was living in this house as long as I was destined to live here. Now that the time is over, I am going elsewhere. According to your direction, I am your eternal servant, a dependent living being. I must act only according to your desire. Beyond your desire, I cannot do anything. I have no such power." Hearing these words of the dead son, all the members of Śrīdhar Thakur's family received transcendental knowledge. Thus there was no cause for lamentation. This transcendental knowledge is described in Bhagavad Gita 2, chapter 2, verse 13. When someone dies, he accepts another body. Therefore sober persons do not lament. After the discourse between the dead boy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, funeral ceremonies were performed, and Lord Chaitanya assured Śrīdhar Thakur, "You have lost one son, but Nityananda Prabhu and I are your eternal sons." We shall never be able to give up your company. This is an instance of a transcendental relationship with Krishna. We have eternal transcendental relationships with Krishna as his servants, friends, fathers, sons, or conjugal lovers. When the same relationships are perverted, reflected in this material world, we have relationships as the sons, fathers, friends, lovers, masters, or servants of others. But all these relationships are subject to termination within a definite period. If we revive our relationship with Krishna, however, by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our eternal relationship will never break to cause our lamentation. Thereafter the Lord charitably bestowed his benediction upon all his devotees. He gave the remnants of his food to Narayani, showing her special respect. Okay, we stop here for today. Jai. Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, the pastimes of the Lord in his youth, Ādi-līlā chapter 17, Ki Jai. Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Swāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev. Then we're reading from In the Light of Loving Devotion by His Divine Grace, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Śrīdhar Goswami Maharaj. Jai. Jai. Chapter 13. Revealed Truth Unlimited. Intensified search. Devotee questioning. It seems that sometimes, both in our preaching and in our devotional service life in general, though we might be trying our best, with humility, tolerance and offering respect as much as we can, there is still so much opposition from people or from the environment. How can we overcome this? Srila Śrīdhar Maharaj. That opposition will help us to more intensively search for a higher plane. That's very nice. That opposition will help us to move more intensely search for a higher plane. The decision, the absolute decision about what comes to us, that comes from the upper level, and it will help us to search for the higher plane more intensely. We will have to examine others, whether the path I have taken, is it only imagination or is it any reality there? Krishna is everything and he protects his devotees. Such statement, is it only theoretical or is it real? We must make experience with this truth in our own life, and we will make progress step by step. Such test will be extended to us by Krishna himself. Do you have faith in me as the Absolute, or in any other party that they are your master? Is your faith only lip deep? When you say that Krishna is everything, he is over all, is it lip deep statement? Or does it really come from your heart and conscience to say, nothing can be done without his consent, nothing may happen without his will? Is this all imaginary propaganda or is it real? Is it a reality to live in and live on, or only something to preach? Real life within. To be always eager for the fight, that is not a very high stage. But to ignore the fight, my environment, that which surrounds me, let it go on in its own way, and I shall be busy with my own things, my own duties. The opposing elements, they will come as a consequence of my previous life's actions. Let them come, but to my back, not in my front. We shall show our back to them, and many wounds may come there, but in the front there will be peace, and Krishna, we will progress towards that side, towards him. We will think, the results of my previous activities, they have come to get their satisfaction, and they may attack me, but that will be from behind. Ignoring them, I shall make progress forwards towards my Lord. So Krishna is everything, but that must be realized as truth within me. Otherwise, what value does such a statement have? It would be only lip-deep propaganda. There must be life within us to back the preaching. The words that come from our mouth must be backed by spiritual realization that Krishna is all in all. A Manipur incident. There is a history which occurred here in India over 100 years ago during this time of British rule in Manipur. At that time, all the residents of Manipur states, including the king, were Vaishnavites. disciples descending from Narottam Thakur. One Indian army general, his name was General Tikendrachit, wanted to overthrow the influence of the British in Manipur, and he was using as his military depot the compound of the Radha Govinda temple there. The British received some intelligence about this, and a military officer was sent to investigate. But the Raj, the king of Manipur, did not allow that man, a European and a Malacha, to enter into the temple compound. However, he forcibly entered, and General Tikendrachit had him murdered, killed at once. Then a British force was sent to capture the depot, with special instructions that the temple compound, which had been used for political and military purposes, must be demolished. The force of the bombardment by cannon shot was so heavy that the whole temple was destroyed, and the deities also were demolished. Unlimited Krishna. Our Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, related this story to us and explained the meaning. Because in such an incident, the general perception may be, what is this, the deities who have been worshipped for generations by the disciples of Narottam Thakur did not have the power to protect themselves? Krishna had no power to protect himself. Then the deities are all idols, dolls. But Prabhupada explained it in another way. He asked, without the will of Krishna, nothing can happen. So what is the will of Krishna? That his worshipful figure should be destroyed by the shot of a cannon. If nothing can occur, even a straw cannot move without the will of Krishna, then if such a disaster was done, was that also by his will? Yes. Then why? First he quoted this shloka. Whoever considers the deity of the Supreme Lord to be that matter, made out of wood, stone or metal, or the spiritual master, who is an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, to be an ordinary man, who is prone to die, or the Vaishnava to be coming from some caste, or the water that washes the feet of the pure devotee, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be ordinary water, although such water has the potency to destroy all the evils of the age of Kali, or who considers the holy name of the Supreme Lord, or mantras dedicated to him, which are able to destroy all sin, to be ordinary sounds, or thinks the Supreme Lord of all, Lord Vishnu, to be on the same level as demigods, has a hellish mentality. Whoever thinks in this way is certainly a resident of hell. We generally identify as spiritual truth that which comes down in this world to help us in a particular form, such as the deity. That is given in the scriptures, and we are encouraged to see it in that way. But as our Guru Maharaj explained, at the same time, that is not the same as the wholesale spiritual reality. So to do away with our wrong conception, that what we see, the deity, that it is Krishna, to demolish that wrong idea, this was done, the destruction of the deity by Krishna's own will. Is it clear? Very interesting story. Yeah? Very beautiful. Whatever comes by the will of the Lord comes from the lips, lotus lips of Guru, from the holy scriptures. The devotees take everything. That is the truth, in whichever way we accept. Very beautiful, this story. Did you hear it before?
No.
Yeah. I heard it before, but I forgot. Very wonderful, very good to remember. And also the one that when there is opposition in the environment, then there's something for us to do, some more purification, some yeah. And then see it from. Don't have it in front. See it from the back, or from Don't see it as it is up front all the time. No, you do your penance, you do your goodwill, your well wishes for the environment, and then it will not oppose us, right? Jai. In the light of loving devotion by His Divine Grace, Om Vishnu Patsila Bhakti Rakak Śrīdhar Dev Swāmī Maharaj. Jai Guru. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Namaha. Sri Caitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Gadadara Sivasadi Gora Bhaktavinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatan Datara Guna. Siddhiva Gopala Bhattata Saraguna. Jai Kusai Kori Charana Bandhan. Yai Te Vignana Sabishta Puram. Jai Kusai Jamui Karada. Tansavara Pararinu Mura Panchakras. Dandera Charana Sivi Bhakta Samevas. Janame More Abilas. Jai Kusai Jabe Bhaja Kolaba. Radha Krishna Nijalila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Sri Guru Vaishnava Paramacharya. Sri Guru Vaishnava Padma Koriya. Harinam Sankirtana Govinda Ramadas. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Sabhakara Sisi Kuranga Sundar Radha Giridhara Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakshita Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Sri Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Kvantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta Ki Jai. Kolkartas Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees Ki Jai. All glories to the world devotees Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari.